Hi everyone, Bob the Canadian here. This is our second Learning Lords of Middle-earth video. So this time I want to introduce the Keeper dice for you. So the Keeper dice are designed to add a little bit of dice from, well, the Keepers / the Lesser Minion. So it helps kind of balance out the dice imbalance early on, because a lot of the time if you get stuck without getting Gandalf the White for a little while, it feels bad being on 4 dice when the Shadow player is moving quickly up to 8 dice and sometimes 9 dice while you're still on 4 dice. So it helps bring in a little bit of extra dice earlier on. Even though they aren't as good as a regular die, it's still better than nothing anyway. So there's 3 Keeper dice here. There's one from Gandalf, who had the Nariad ring, and one from Galadriel, who had the Nenya ring, and one from Vilya, from Elrond, who had the Vilya ring. So to get them into play, you simply, for Gandalf anyway, it's very straightforward. After you view your hand, it'll give you this option where you could pick all these alternate companions. We'll talk about the other alternate companions later. But if you want Keeper of Narya, you just pick Keeper of Narya. And then if you pick Gandalf as the guide, then there you go. You can have the Narya die. You add it to your force pool for turn 1. So that's pretty neat. For Galadriel and Elrond, they have both the same muster condition. If you get the elves to war, or if Sauron is at war, then you may spend a muster die to bring them into play. So they can't move. They will stay there forever. Galadriel goes to Lorien for a muster die, and similarly, Elrond goes to Rivendell for a muster die, and then you would add their corresponding die to your force pool for the next turn, or to your dice pool. Anyway, so let's say this is turn 1. Anyway, so away we go. Okay, so Gandalf rolled a Palantir here. Their dice are a little bit different from the regular dice. They aren't quite as good, but they're still certainly better than nothing anyway. So you'll notice, though, that they each have an eye on them. So that's kind of added to represent the idea that if they were being more active with the power of their rings, that it might be detected by Sauron, and it might reveal their plans to him a little bit. So if Gandalf's die, we'll just roll it a couple times till we get an eye here. Oh, taking a while. Wow, this would have made it. Okay, we saw it. Anyway, you saw it as an eye there. If we'd rolled an eye, then it would go in the hunt pool like a regular eye and increase the odds of the Fellowship getting hit. So, similarly, if these roll an eye, then you get hit. So you might be wondering to yourself why you wouldn't, get Galadriel, Elrond, and Gandalf in play, and, just that quickly be up to 7 dice. The downside is that after you roll these, you can only pick one of them to actually use. So, assuming this wasn't an eye, now the Free People's player would have to pick one of these 3 die results to keep. So if you wanted to keep the character dice, you put both of these in your discard right away. And if any of them is an eye, like Galadriel's was, then you must put that eye in the hunt pool, and you discard the other 2. So that's why people will often try to avoid having 2 or 3 out at the same time. Like 2 is okay. Sometimes people do 2 for a bit. I'm not sure if I've ever seen all 3 out at the same time, though. So anyway, this is, I think it's a good idea from the game designers to try to balance out the dice for the Free Peoples a little bit. And it gives you these, more fun with these 3 different people who add dice. So I'm not going to explain all the rules around them because, again, it's supposed to be short and just kind of giving you the idea of what the game is like. So anyway, see you next time. Bye.